The unsolved story of Stacey Colbert. Imagine returning home to find no sign of struggle, but something vital is missing. The next time you hear a scream in the night, what if it was a clue no one followed? Today we're unraveling the real and authentic story of Stacey Colbert, a missing woman whose disappearance in 1998 turned into a cold, unsolved homicide, and whose remains were found 6 years later with her killer still unknown. Stay with us till the end, and ask yourself, could justice still be served, even after decades? Who was Stacey? Stacey Beth Colbert was born on February 3, 1975, in the United States. She was 23 years old in March 1998, when her life took a mysterious and tragic turn. Friends described her as driven, a young woman who had completed college and was building a life in Columbus, Ohio. On March 21, 1998, Stacey was last seen in her apartment at the Governor's Square complex in Columbus, Ohio. She had just received a pizza delivery, the box half-eaten, but then she vanished. No one saw her leave, and no one heard from her again. What happened in the hours after that delivery may hold the answer, but at the time, it was overlooked. Neighbors later told investigators that, in the early hours of March 22nd, they were awakened by loud banging and a female scream coming from Stacey's apartment. But no one called the police at the time. It wouldn't be until 2 days later that anyone realized something was wrong. Stacey didn't show up for work. Her phone calls went unanswered. After her employer reached out and still got no word, Stacey's sister Danielle reported her missing to the Columbus Police Department on March 24, 1998. Stacey's apartment was found unlocked, her purse and keys inside, and her car still parked outside. Her cat was missing, a sign that something serious had happened. Police immediately treated her disappearance as suspicious. There was no sign of a break-in, and nothing was stolen. Early investigations included interviews with neighbors, friends, and even someone as mundane as the pizza delivery person, one of the last known people to see Stacey alive. But even years later, no one has been charged, despite multiple leads and ongoing efforts. In the months after she disappeared, police conducted ground searches and even a dive in local park waters to rule out hiding spots, but nothing turned up. Her friends, family, and community refused to give up. Sorority sisters from Alpha Delta Pi at Ohio State University organized vigils, placed thousands of flyers around the city, and held candlelight events to raise awareness. Imagine standing in a crowd of thousands, hoping this time someone knows something. Local politicians, and even her employer, American Electric Power, joined in the efforts to keep Stacey's face in the public eye and keep tips flowing to police. As weeks turned to months, and months to years, leads dried up. Despite ongoing police efforts, nothing concrete pointed to a suspect. The case officially remained unsolved as time passed. And then, 6 years later, everything changed. On November 27, 2004, a hunter searching for his lost dog near the Scioto River, on State Route 257 North in Delaware County, Ohio, stumbled onto human remains among leaves and debris. Those bones were later identified through dental records as Stacey's. The remains were found about 40 minutes away from her apartment, in a rural wooded area. More than 70% of her skeleton was recovered, but due to the condition of the remains, the medical examiner could not determine the exact cause of death. A death without answers 6 years later. Given the lack of evidence to suggest she left on her own, law enforcement now treats her disappearance as a homicide, but to this day, her killer has not been arrested. Because Stacey's remains were found so far from where she vanished, the case shifted from Columbus Police to the Delaware County Sheriff's Office. This created challenges in continuity of the investigation. New detectives, fresh eyes, but still no resolution. In the years since, detectives have revisited evidence and leveraged improving DNA technology, but nothing publicly reported has cracked the case open. Stacey's sister Danielle and friends have kept her memory alive. In recent years, they've organized renewed attention through online outreach, social media pages like Finishing Stacey's Fight, and community discussions that ask, could someone still know what happened? After more than 2 decades, someone might still hold the key to justice. Law enforcement still lists Stacey's case as unsolved, and detectives have publicly stated they believe the case is solvable with the right information. This is not just a missing person story, it's a real, unresolved homicide with a victim and a family still waiting for answers. Stacey's story reminds us that many cold cases may be solved when someone steps forward with the truth. Do you think advances in DNA or technology could finally solve this case? What questions would you ask investigators if you were given the chance? Comment below with your thoughts. And if you learned something new today, share this video to keep attention on cases like Stacey's. Someone out there may hold the key to justice. Thank you for watching. If you have any information about this case, please contact the Delaware County Sheriff's Office. Stay respectful and compassionate when discussing unsolved cases.